Stranger Things Volume 2 is out. Hi, my name is Garrett. This is Grizzly Reviews. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas holiday or any holiday season that you may be enjoying. I have been covering Stranger Things Season 5 on my channels and it's been so fun. So now that Volume 2 is out for us to watch, I'm going to continue my episode reviews of the show. I'm going to try to do one every single day so I don't get spoiled on things. So today I'm going to talk about episode 5 of Stranger Things 5. What did you think about this first episode of Volume 2? Let me know in the comments and try to keep them spoiler free for the rest of Volume 2. We're just going to talk about episode 5 today, and my review will be containing spoilers, so this is a big warning for y'all. Outside of that, I had a great Christmas. It was nice. It was very lo-fi, and I think we should just get into the review. Chapter 5 is titled Shock Jock, and I liked this episode. I didn't necessarily love it. I think the issues with this final season are really starting to point themselves out. I love how the plot lines are interweaving with each other. Don't get me wrong, like the Holly and Max stuff of them going through Holly's memories, and we're seeing like a different perspective of everything we saw from Holly before, I think is really cool. Like the devastation that she sees when her mother is attacking the Demogorgon, and she's like, I didn't do anything to help her. And Max is like, the Holly now would. I really love that moment. Like that was really sweet. Max is giving like perfect I'm your guardian at this moment. Like, we're friends, but I'm gonna like protect you and everything. I love what they're doing with Max. And then delightful Derek having to switch back into dipshit Derek, I think is so funny. Like him walking into Holly and Max in the woods, that whole sequence was hilarious. I just love everything we're doing with Derek this season. It's just like there's too many characters in the show of Stranger Things, so no one is gonna have like a satisfying conclusion to their story. I know we have like 5-ish hours of runtime left between the next 3 episodes after this. But Nancy, for example, does not have an arc this season. She is just a MacGuffin for Jonathan, maybe to propose to, but really just to build a tension between Steve and Jonathan. And Steve is still handing down that Nancy is just a friend, but we also aren't seeing him trying to like date other girls like he was in season 4 at the beginning. So I really just don't know what Steve's intentions are. Yes, there was a scene between Nancy and Jonathan, but that is more Jonathan demanding answers out of Nancy that she doesn't need to give to him right now. I really just don't care about Jonathan this season. I don't think him and Nancy are good together. I don't even think Steve and Nancy are good together. They had their moment. I don't love like a high school sweetheart romance going into like adulthood. For me, I really don't think those work out. And yes, I'm aware that Hopper, Joyce, and Bob all went to high school together, but like they're in their 40s now. They can do that. They're not freshly 19 or 20 thinking that they can have a relationship together after their extremely failed relationship in high school. What's crazy for me is like the runtime of this episode was what, an hour 6 minutes. And I feel like we're getting nowhere plot wise. Like they're stretching out something that doesn't need to be stretched out. And what sucks is that I feel like there could have been another season in between 4 and 5 to catch us up to where the characters are at in season 5. Like, I like the fact that season 5 opens with the squawk already existing. They're already doing their crawls. They have a system set in place, and then something goes wrong, and that's the beginning of the season. But character wise, their arcs, I feel like we're just missing a huge chunk of time in between that we're never going to feel satisfied for seeing them where they end up. I'm going to hold out hope that the Duffer Brothers know what they're doing in writing the show. And I want to believe that the 5 hours of runtime between the series finale and the next 2 episodes to get there will like wrap up the show in a good way. But let's just get into more of the individual plot points of the show. I'm going to start with the Steve, Dustin, Nancy, and Jonathan stuff because we kind of talked about it already. Steve and Dustin have a pretty huge fight in the Rainbow Room, which I like the fact that more characters are going into the rooms that other characters have been in. I don't think they have any context as to what Eleven went through in the Rainbow Room. She wasn't there telling them about it. They weren't Nancy visually seeing it when Vecna was invading her mind in season 4. I guess their beef did come to a head, Dustin and Steve. I do think the argument that they have is really good. Like, they are finally pointing out each other's flaws to each other, and both of them are being so obstinate to just not get over it. I know they're boys and they're young boys, but grow up. Their fight scene was hella intense too. I really like how it was done. I was almost crying during it because again, I love Steve and Dustin and I hate that they are rivals. Like they're arguing with each other. I just don't want anything to happen. I'm so nervous for them going into these next 2 episodes. I have no idea what's going to happen, especially with how the episode ends. So we learn that there's this giant blue energy ball above of Hawkins' laboratory within the Upside Down. And I didn't really get a good glimpse as to the papers that Dustin was reading in Henry's secret room behind the extra room in the Rainbow Room, which is highly funny that the wall that he gets sent into the Upside Down is what's opposite of his like secret bunker room with all of his papers and stuff. Assuming that's his and not Papa's Matthew Modine's, I really don't know. I'm sure we'll get the answer when the episode begins, but Dustin, who broke his walkie talkie during the fight with Steve, is trying to contact Nancy and Jonathan not to do anything to this blue orb. The tension really builds at the end of this episode, and I love that there is something with Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, and Dustin to end the episode, filling up the drama, giving me something tense. And I like how the episode ends with like the gunshot going off, but you don't see what happens. Gaten Matarazzo's performance is just really good. At the end of this episode, he's climbing those stairs, he's screaming into his walkie talkie. You're getting a really good grasp of how high stakes it is if they mess up with this ball. I'm assuming it's some radioactive thing, and that's why Hawkins' laboratory is melting the way it is. It's interesting how all of the stuff that's melting is already melted. It's not melting presently. I don't know what all of those bodies were. There was some military guy. In my head, I was assuming that that was what Henry Creel's father, like the military guy, because Henry's father was in the war and he accidentally bombed a place and killed a lot of innocent people. Not accidentally, he purposely bombed a place and killed a lot of innocent people. But I just don't know who those were. Maybe we'll get an answer. I don't know. Okay, I'm mid edit of this video, and I realize it's probably just military guys from the people that came into the Upside Down with Linda Hamilton. It's not going to be anything like extra more than that, I don't think. It just looked like they were like World War fighters. Moving on to who else is in the Upside Down, we catch up with 11, 8, and Hopper. There's not much going on with them this episode. They go to where Steve, Dustin, Jonathan, and Nancy were, but they're not there anymore because they're in Hawkins' laboratory. And we get Eight's backstory of like what happened kind of since we last saw her to where we catch up now. And they did a crazy thing. They killed off all of her friends that we saw in episode 7 of Stranger Things 2. You actually see one of them get the gunshot in his head. It's not the same actor, it's a guy wearing a mask. They're not going to bring the actor back for that shot. But everything she's gone through is incredibly sad and scary. Like the fact that Linda Hamilton's character is storing pregnant women and trying to recreate what Matthew Modine's project was is absurd. That reveal was incredibly scary. I feel for 8 so much. The montage of them taking her in, shaving her head, and her like It was genuinely sad watching her hair go away because that is her identity. She grew up in a place where everyone was shaved, everyone looked the same, and she found who she was outside of Hawkins' laboratory. And it sucks seeing all of that stripped away and removed from her. I really love that they're still showing us Eight's powers. She gets to incept everyone's military brain with herself still hooked up with them drawing her blood, and then she shows her powers to 11 later and showing like her mother and everything that they did with Matthew Modine's stuff, and possibly glimpsing at 11's future if she is captured by Linda Hamilton as well, in 11's head being shaved again, and them drawing all of her blood to put in these pregnant women. The scene of her going into each room and seeing another pregnant woman is genuinely scary. Like, it's so fucked up for them to be doing that. I'm shocked the show even went there. But also, like, duh, we get an explanation of how 11 and all of those other kids have their powers. So it makes sense, and it makes sense why they're all different ages too. Just because, like, Henry's blood would be taken and put into this woman. That woman would birth a kid, and probably the powers that Matthew Modine wanted them to have is not going to show up. So we like kept trying, and then we got to 11 with 11. It was crazy. Did he find pregnant women though, or did he impregnate them himself? I don't even know what Linda Hamilton did in that regard. Either way, it's fucked. Like, neither of those is a good answer. We got the biggest plot tease the entire show has given us this episode. I'll catch us up plot wise, and then I'll get us to what I mean is the biggest tease so far. After Will saves everyone by killing those Demogorgons, they all collect each other, head back to the radio station. Everyone is so supportive of Will. I love him and Robin's conversation of basically both of them thanking each other, Robin thanking Will for saving him, Will thanking Robin for opening up about her past and who like she is and how she feels and everything. They discuss more of like who Robin came out to first that made her feel so comfortable. Will shocked that it's Steve. And yeah, everyone is shocked that it's Steve. Like, his turn in episode 3 to be such a good friend to Robin after developing feelings for her is such a great scene. That's why Steve is such a good friend and a good person now. Like, early season 1 Steve would totally have been homophobic. It's interesting if Will is going to try to do like the same thing that Robin did in telling one of his friends. I'm going to say it's Lucas he comes out to first, and then he's going to not go after Mike, but like he's gonna try to see if like Mike is interested as well. Again, this whole stuff with like I don't want to be heartbroken by Will again with him and his queerness. Like, I just want him to be happy. Everyone deserves to be happy. It'll suck if he never gets to come out to anyone else. Like, if he dies in the season, that's gonna suck. And I don't think they're gonna kill Will unless to fully kill the hive mind, you have to kill everyone that's been part of the hive mind. So that would really fucking suck. But the kids have been part of the hive mind. I don't know. Anyways, after they all congratulate Will, Joyce comes up with a plan, and it's a fine plan, but we don't really know how to execute it. So at the same time, Lucas and Erica come with a plan, and Lucas comes up with a plan to essentially Frankenstein a Demogorgon, and Erica even says that your plan is to Dr. Frankenstein a Demogorgon. I just love Erica. Again, we love Erica here. And that is what you get this episode, is them Frankensteining this Demogorgon so that Will can tap into the hive mind and try to kill Vecna. But what Erica comes up with is bringing the teacher that we see the boys grew up with. It's her teacher now. And we get the tease of her going to get Scott Clark to help them make another antenna. And I want to see the scene of Erica having to explain everything with the Upside Down to him, and just like everything coming together. He hasn't known anything for 5 seasons outside of like the magnet stuff that Joyce comes to him with in season 2. But in an episode that is an hour and 6 minutes long, we get 0 Scott Clark. Why would you waste an entire episode, an entire day of them putting this together and not show Erica with Scott Clark? I just don't get it. Were these deleted scenes on the cutting room floor? Is there something next episode? But like timeline wise, we need to keep everything so succinct and precise to get to November 6th. And I don't get why they're hiding Scott Clark from me. The Frankensteining the Demogorgon works out well. I love a Stranger Things montage of them doing things and them having to lift the Demogorgon onto the roof of the radio tower building itself, not like the whole radio tower, but like the little building at the bottom, was really cool. And I just love their ingenuity and genius. I'm gonna actually split my MVP of the season between Mike and Lucas. Mike is just being a great friend to Will, being so supportive and happy that Will has powers. And then Lucas's idea to Frankenstein the Demogorgon worked, and it's such a batshit crazy idea that I have to give him props. Like, a bag of popcorn gave you that in the microwave idea? What? Crazy. Caleb McLaughlin, why are you running like an animal to Will when he falls down when he connects to the hive mind? And Frank Darabont, why did we allow this shot to remain the shot that they did? Was it in the script? Was this something that we saw while we were filming it and we thought it was really funny, so we kept it in? I need the answers to this now because it is ridiculous. More ridiculous things. I didn't even talk about in episode 4 how Hopper punches glass that doesn't exist anymore after he breaks the window. What a gaffe. And for a show with as high budget as it is, these little mistakes are really just pointing to maybe a lack of effort by everyone working on the show. Like Hopper didn't even question what he just did. Was the glass even there to begin with when they filmed the scene? By Hop, I mean David Harbour. You know what I'm talking about. We end the episode with Will tapping into Vecna, Henry's mind. I love how Henry shifts between the images. I like that Holly now sees true Vecna and Max gets to see his updated self, his Ozempic upgrade. An upgrade I don't mind that they did. Like, I think that Vecna is scarier in season 5 than he was in season 4. Like, he got his testosterone and he's beefed up in a really nice way. The funny thing is, it's giving Groot. It's giving Groot. Like in the first Guardians of the Galaxy and then Teen Groot. It's just like how Groot uses his plants to like go into people and stuff. I don't know. Anyways, Will getting into Vecna's mind gives Holly and Max a chance to go into Vecna's mind palace, like that red place where Max almost died many times. And I think we end the episode with Will knocked out. I'm really not sure what is the plan right there. I don't really remember what happens to Will at the end of this episode, I'll be honest. I feel like I can see the end game of the show coming, but I really just have no idea what to expect with this ending. I want good things. I'm excited to get into more of this show. And that does, I think, bring us to the end of this review of Stranger Things 5, Episode 5, Shock Jock. I did enjoy this episode. It was a good return back into this season. Like, I'm just happy to spend more time with these characters. But the exposition dumping by some characters is getting really annoying. I would like to see more, like, this season taking place between 3-4 days and them spreading out so much, but so much is missing. I just have a lot of questions, and the season's just not as tight as I would like it to be. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comments about this episode and about Stranger Things 5 so far. I can't wait to keep going into it. Make sure you're following me here on TikTok or YouTube. Give this video a like, and until next time, bye bye.